It's Sunday, February 23rd, and you're listening to the Stock Market Daily News Podcast, your go-to 2-minute roundup for markets, trading, and all things finance. Let's jump right in. U.S. stocks closed out a volatile week with a bullish tone. The S&P 500 rallied nearly 70 points to close at 6,910, up 0.7%. The Dow Jones climbed 230 points, ending at 49,626, while the Nasdaq posted the biggest gain, up more than 200 points, finishing at 22,886. That said, beneath the surface, we're seeing major sector rotation and big questions brewing around AI and the tech sector. Today we'll spotlight the Nvidia earnings showdown, surprising Supreme Court shakeups and their liquidity impacts, and some wild action in cybersecurity and crypto-related stocks. First up, Nvidia, the bellwether of artificial intelligence, is front and center as earnings loom this week. After soaring more than 1,500% since late 2022, Nvidia stock now holds nearly an 8% weight in the S&P 500. Last week, the stock ticked up just under 1% in 2026, lagging tech peers. Analysts expect blockbuster results, 71% higher earnings year over year and revenue around $66 billion. But with expectations so high, even a small miss could rattle markets. For investors, a strong Nvidia report could revive sentiment across the Magnificent Seven, but a disappointment could deepen this year's tech sector struggles. Turning to policy, on Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Trump-era tariffs under the IEEPA, unlocking a possible $175 billion refund scenario. That news initially sent stocks higher and pushed Treasury yields up as traders started pricing a giant and unexpected liquidity boost for markets. But the details matter. The speed and method of those refunds will determine if this sparks a true risk-on rally or simply adds some background noise while the legal process plays out. Tech wasn't just in focus for earnings either. Cybersecurity stocks tumbled after Anthropic announced its new Claude Code security AI tool. Shares of JFrog plunged roughly 25%, CrowdStrike and Okta both sank about 8 to 9%, and the Global X Cyber ETF hit its lowest level since 2023. Why? Investors worry that advanced AI may permanently disrupt the traditional cybersecurity business model. Analysts caution the sell-off may be overdone, but this is another sign of AI's transformative and often unpredictable impact on the sector. Meanwhile, in crypto, there's a big shift in investor flows. Over 80% of new token launches last year are now trading below their debut price as investors move capital from risky tokens into publicly listed crypto companies. With IPO funding and M&A activity surging to multi-year highs, it's clear institutions are favoring regulated equities over speculative coins. For market participants, the message is to focus on quality and structural trends, especially as regulatory scrutiny rises. Finally, looking abroad, Indian equities staged a comeback on Friday. The Nifty rebounded to trade near all-time highs, with notable strength in stocks like New-Gen Software and NetWeb Technologies, up 16 and 17% respectively for the week. However, India's volatility index, the VIX, remains elevated, signaling caution ahead of month-end expiry and global crosscurrents. To recap, the S&P 500 rose just under 1% for the week. The Dow Jones jumped over 3% year-to-date, but the tech-heavy Nasdaq is still off 1.5% in 2026. Weighed down by software stock weakness and AI anxiety. Watch for Nvidia earnings, more legal clarity on tariff refunds, and ongoing volatility in cybersecurity and crypto stocks. That wraps up today's episode. Don't miss major earnings and President Trump's State of the Union coming this week. Subscribe for daily updates and stay connected for the fastest market intelligence straight to your feed. Thanks for joining us on Stock Market Daily News.